Hey you guys, Shine Adamson back again with the YesPhonics channel. This is where homeschoolers, teachers, and educators everywhere come to get valuable teaching information and insights. So today's topic is going to be about how schools and parents can help their students 4th grade through college. They can help them learn to read with comprehension, to spell accurately, and to write compositions. Building a solid phonetic language arts foundation is more important at this time than attempting to acquire more academic skills without this foundation. And learning the 72 ordinal phonograms and the Ayer's 1,000 most frequently used words in the spelling list, along with the 29 Spalding rules, will help accelerate students' higher learning abilities, and it will help them utilize these abilities to help them read with comprehension, spell accurately, and write original compositions. So we've talked a little bit about this before with the 72 ordinal phonograms and the writing road to reading. Essentially, this is just starting with a very inexpensive Spalding method. Like I've very often before recommended Romalda Spalding's Writing Road to Reading. You can pick that up for about 20 bucks. And you guys can start right there and work through it regardless of what age level that your student or child is at. The teaching instructions, which is the Spalding method, they're necessarily written for classes of beginners, whether they're in kindergarten or in 1st grade. However, older students beginning with this method, regardless of their training in lower grades, they actually need this same teaching method and practice as the students that are just entering school, although they will proceed faster than those that are just entering school. So something foundational, which is all learners need to begin at the beginning of the sequence. And we haven't talked much about the sequence, but in a nutshell, the sequence is in the Writing Road to Reading, and it guides parents and teachers through one sequence at a time through the total phonetic language arts program. This is really important because if students don't start at the beginning of the program, then they may have gaps in their phonetic instruction or their knowledge. And a couple of examples of the sequence that you can find in the Writing Road to Reading are teaching manuscript writing, learning the 72 ordinal phonograms, and practicing the 29 spelling rules. So each sequence will focus on one aspect of the total phonetic language arts program, and it will also incorporate each sequence previously into the next one, which then helps the student build on the total foundation of phonetic knowledge. So in case you guys hear us talk about the sequence, that's what that means, and that's what it's referring to. So in addition to starting at the beginning of the sequence, I want to really encourage you guys to read aloud in the classroom or at home. It's really necessary to develop the habit of reading accurately. So in reading, we're trying to learn from the author and not to substitute our ideas for theirs, which is super key. When we're reading aloud, we can develop the habit of precise enunciation, which improves both vocabulary and grammar. This practice in the skills of reading, as well as learning to get the ideas from the printed page, is essential. And we've talked a little bit about this before as well, where some students have the unfortunate inability to decode information, so to speak, decode, through what they read. So some students, when they read a paragraph, they're not able to tell you, if you say, hey, let's stop for just a second and talk about what you just read. Some students can't actually do that. When you're having your students read and when you're testing them on their knowledge, so to speak, make sure that they can actually tell you what they've read through a paragraph. Otherwise, they may be encountering some sort of dyslexia or some sort of reading problem or learning developmental problem that needs to be addressed early on. So in addition to this, the student should work out new words as they occur. Words that present difficulties, they shouldn't be told or taught ahead of the story, but they should be sounded out to produce the correct word. I've talked a little bit about invented spellings and invented phonics, and I definitely don't recommend it. So for example, like phonics, Phonics, or phonics, Phonics. I don't recommend this, and I don't recommend making up words on the fly to try to encourage certain sounds or try to encourage students to learn new sounds. This will really encourage and develop bad habits later on in life, and later on through the total phonetic language arts learning process. They're going to associate certain sounds with certain phonograms that may not even exist, and vice versa. So this study should integrate the teaching and the use of the dictionary as well. It will go on to build derivatives, sentence and paragraph construction with punctuation, and it will help them write compositions based on history, science, and literature. And many different literary books are encouraged to read aloud in the class or the home. So if teaching the complete program in school isn't feasible, then it should be done at home. Schools can easily teach commonly used correct spelling patterns found in the 72 Orton phonograms, which helps the students become better spellers and readers. With little supervision, this is really cool, with little supervision, the students can teach these sounds, the 72 Orton phonograms, to themselves using any sort of phonetic language arts tool. You could, for instance, use our mnemonic phonic technique, which is free on YouTube. It's also free on the light version on Google Play and the App Store. You can make your own flashcards. We actually also have flashcards available for free online that you can download and help your students practice each and every sound of each phonogram. So that's really cool. And I never ever plug any sort of products or try to sell you guys anything, but I will encourage you guys to go out and check out our free resources, or any free resources really, that help with the learning of 72 Orton phonograms. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I appreciate it. If you guys feel like I missed something, or you want to start a conversation below, feel free to leave a comment in the sections below as well. Love to start a dialogue with you guys. And as always, my fellow educators, be well and stay classy.